from you. My everything, I call my God. My everything, oh, yeah. My everything, yeah.
I have no idea.
God, my everything, my everything. What kind of love?
But we're live. It's almost 7:30. Just 1 minute more. And we can start now. Good morning. My first YouTube live. Oh my God, it is so exciting. Oh. Ooh, baby, pull up the chair. Yeah, I'm not a morning chick, okay? So, excuse my appearance.
Scratching,
If I snort,
scratching, all of that.
If I snort, if I...
I'll get your ring light too, because
Yeah,
kind of look kind of grainy, or
yeah,
maybe the quality of this laptop camera.
But it is still good quality though. Yeah. So thank you for joining us. If you're on the live or the replay, it's a big topic that I'm going to be discussing this morning. Big topic. Not sure how many friends I lost because of it, to be quite honest. But last week, I was being introduced to some new people by some friends of ours. And when I told the gentleman, my name is Diosa, the lady looked at me kind of strange, like, I know you as not Diosa, I know as Dionne. But she didn't want to embarrass me in front of people. So she just kept silent. But again, because of discernment, I am able to look into things. I'm able to see things and hear things that aren't said. And excuse me, I knew what she was thinking. And I just laughed to myself. So as I heard her thoughts initially, I then explained myself that I would rather be called Diosa, even though, yes, my name is also Dionne. And I didn't go any deeper into it there because it was not the time or the place. It was, supposed to be a fun environment. And I just dropped it. And I said in that moment, yeah, now is the perfect time to confront this. It's been years. And when I say years, it's been years. And this occurred, let's go back to the origins of it a little bit. I was born Dionne, okay? I wasn't born Diosa. I was given the name Dionne by my mother when I was born. And that name had significance for her at the time because she liked Dionne Warwick music for some reason. Like you. I don't know any Dionne Warwick songs that I like. I may have to be schooled by hubby because hubby is the, I should say the oldie goldie master. Really. And growing up hearing this name being called all the time because it was like I'm the only grandchild that was raised with my grandmother, my aunt, and my mom in the same household. My other two cousins, who are the two boy grandchildren, they didn't live with us. And because when after their mom passed, their father took them and took care of them. So growing up in this household, every single time they called this name Dionne, I just was irritated. I felt angry all the time. And I was like, wait, everybody hearing Dionne, 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 Dionne. Even people on the street, when they're calling my name, I was like, ugh. It would be like a person, an invisible rolling of my eyes all the time. Every single time I heard that name. But because of culture, you accept it because that's what you're called. And you just answer to it, from a baby. You do what you're taught, you know, until I would say I encountered an opportunity that I could change this reality, that I can change this narrative, right? And I was presented with a unique opportunity when I traveled to Cuba to study. In this experience, I was telling people in Cuba my name, Dionne. They could not pronounce it. It gave them stress to pronounce. It was like, they called me all mine a dog. Right? And I was like, okay, you just ain't getting this because the name is not like Spanish in origin. So therefore, just how to pronounce it is going to be difficult for you with a different tongue, right? So I did a little digging as I could dig in Cuba. I mean, we didn't have access to the internet 24/7 like we do now. You didn't have a phone with WhatsApp and Google and all this kind of stuff on it. And I got this back in the day, this is back before cell phone. Everybody got cell phone was a thing. So I did a little digging as I could. And I said, you know what? I am my father's child. And I wanted to be as close to identity with my father as possible. So I said, you know what, call me a little God, a little female God, because this is my daddy. God is my daddy, and I want to be associated with him, right? Jesusa is not a thing. Okay, that'll roll off the tongue. Jesusa, like a Jesus female virgin, because in Spanish you put an a at the end to make it feminine, right? So yeah, that ain't cutting it. But Diosa, because you have a female god, which is goddess, then that came rolling off my tongue. I like this name, Diosa. And in digging the real meanings of the word Diosa and Dionne, because I did research both of the names in terms of why I hated the name Dionne. And the meaning of Dionne was linked to its origins of Dionysus and this god of whatever else, and it's Greek and all these different things, right? So at that time, I was like, okay, well, this is close enough to the similar meaning, but in Spanish, because all of it got links to some, esoteric being. And again, this was prior to my complete transformation. So I didn't even know that all of this was, kind of linked spiritually until looking back at it, right? So I said, Dios is it. And I was so committed to this name, I had a tattoo done in Cuba of this name in my back, okay? So, because I don't like to see scars on my skin, guys, okay? I just don't like pimples, marks, nothing like that. Even though I create them for myself, I do. When I have pimples, I scar my face up. But I tattooed it on my skin in a place that I could not see it. So I did that in my back, and I was like, this is it. I'm committed. And in any person that I met that was new to me, when they ask, okay, so who are you? What's your name? Diosa. 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 So in the Cubans, it was like, oh, como te llamas? I'm like, Diosa. Me llamo Diosa. And I got like super addicted to this thing, like, whoa. I know that helps. But I got, we can see on the playback, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a lot of me talking and hubby's just there staring like,
Yeah. We talk about Diosa and transformation from Dionne to Diosa, not
okay, man.
Ireland.
So I guess he's here for moral support.
Yeah. Moral support.
And to let y'all know that he knows, okay? He knows the story. And I gave him the story before, so it's not like something that he jump into and like, who's she?
Yeah,
Who's she talking about?
I kind of alternate between the two though.
Yeah, he's called me Dionne most of the time, especially in front of people that I tell my name is Diosa. So then people just be confused.
Yeah.
Be like, so she tell me she named Diosa, but he calling she Dionne. Like, how does it work?
I guess I don't know. It's kind of strange, right? Because Diosa, I have no problem with either name. It's just that I, just call one most of the time. So that's something to change from going forward, right? Because most of the time when I hard for hand, Diosa. I say, when I ask her, I say Dionne. That she's short, right? I say, okay, so you're not responding to your.
Sorry, you don't call Diosa like that. So sweet and cheery.
I do sometimes actually.
And they don't respond.
No.
Oh dear.
So hence why we would use it as an experiment, right?
Yes, we shall.
Yes.
Going forward.
So I'll use Diosa the majority of the week. And see what report back to y'all and see how that experiment turns out.
Yeah, we'll do that in the next. We'll do that in the next Wednesday live, maybe.
And then do that for 40 days, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
The next Wednesday live would be probably by yourself because maybe 14. We'll see.
Yeah, that's the 14.
We'll see. Yeah, she may not wake up this early by herself, which is probably bad, but it is the best time to do a live because take advantage of kids are asleep.
Yeah.
But we'll
how
see.
Quiet it is that we can actually talk and without the interruptions. Oh, this is heaven. But we know that a lot of people don't wake up this early, so that's why a lot of people.
A lot of people.
When them sleeping, I just want to sleep too. Like, tired. But anyhow, back to the story.
Yeah, back to the story.
So, imagine the horror on some faces. Because Barbados is fairly small. We are only 166 square miles. Let me round up estimated figures of how many humans live on this small rock. 300,000 people. That's quite a small number, right? So everybody know everybody, or somebody know somebody that you know. So imagine when I returned from Cuba, it's like new people who are new to me. They want to know my name. I tell them my name is Diosa because it was a habit from Cuba to do so, right? And I felt very good telling people my name is Diosa. It's like Dionne is dead, okay? Like that name no longer resonates with me. Don't even call me that. Nothing. The horror came from close friends who were doing the introductions or who were listening to said introductions. So why is she telling him that she named Diosa? You mother name you Dionne though. In the real Bajan tone, and I've heard this said without them saying it with their mouths.
Because
they thought it, right?
And she heard it in her spirit.
And some people deliberately said to themselves, I don't care what she calls herself. I'm going to call her Dionne because that's her name, right? And to them, they feel or felt, which genuinely so I understand, they felt as though they were upholding truth and that they were holding me accountable to truth, right? Having not gone through my experience, okay? Like, they don't reside in this house that I live in, right? And what you accept is quite okay for you to accept what people give to you. And if you know your origins, right? Majority of Black people that came over did not have the names that they were given. And they fought tooth and nail, tried. Some of them died because they would not accept the name that was given to them by their master.
Yeah, if
You watch
if we got more advanced, we would like put in a clip of what that movie,
the roots.
Roots, yeah.
Yeah,
With
because
Toby, with Toby
with
getting,
Toby get name,
with Toby, wait, see, like we call him Toby as
Kinta
opposed to
Kunte,
Kunta Kinte.
Kunta Kinte.
Kunta
And
Kinte.
trust me, I prefer the Kunta Kinte. And you see, this brings me to my point because I actually wrote points, guys. I came prepared. See, I didn't want to stray from the point and, you know, branch off into any other random topics, which I can do. Hubby know that I can pancake, right? And the syrup go all over the pancake. It still tastes good at the end to me, but you know, to other people, it's lose them. But culturally, um, there are things spiritually linked to your name. What you call yourself is what you're going to be reinforcing in your life. Okay. And you wouldn't understand this because you don't think about this stuff. You know, you go on, it's bills, got bills to pay. I get that. Or if you're in school, you got grades to get. Or, you know, if you're a child, you just want to play. Like, you really don't give thought to whoever calling you. It's like, oh, that would have called me? Okay, hi, yes. You know, so you don't give thought to the significance or the meaning of your name. African culture and African history is so predominantly spiritually led. That is what they basically broke during our incarceration. Okay? They broke that spiritually minded nature that we had or that was culturally accepted for Africans. To the point now over here, we are so disconnected from each other, you know, that we just pretty much beat each other into accepting these English names and forget our spiritual origins. Like this name that I'm even calling myself Diosa is still not even my real name. Okay. I have a spiritual name
That God will be given to you when you were
that
made,
my
right?
father gave me. I have it.
And I know not to hijack what you're saying too, but
Go ahead.
in terms of how we as Africans were, more spiritually attuned to the worldly spirits, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
That you will worship them. You will worship them, and then I guess when you come over, you would have been attuned. Master would have attuned you to the fact that there is, yes, you have all these other gods. They're all evil for you, but there's only one true God that you gotta worship. So I guess it'd be hard to reconcile the two, right? Where is it? Yes, other gods do exist in the world, and they were worshipped, are currently still being worshipped by
Mm-hmm.
people. But the one true God who is above all things, who over all the other gods, is the true God, and it was forced, as people would say, or black people were indoctrinated to believe that God in a religious sense. And it's why they have people being vexed about, oh, you are get the pastor money for your church and all these little things that they look at. Well, that's the main one to focus on though. Get the pastor all the money, Or you pass up God driving a big car, living in a big house, and you're in poverty and all this kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
so they linking God with the church, hence the confusion.
Well, God with the religion.
God religion, sorry, God with
Mhm.
religion, and hence the the acts and the anger and the backwardness that would be taking place now. But anyway, back to the Dionne Diosa transition. Transition is such a strange word used nowadays, right? Oh, she transitioned.
That can mean that.
She transitioned from one noun to another noun.
That's what they say now when they're talking about all these different pronouns.
Mhm. Probably next topic in marriage, right? Because as you said, is that if your name has a spiritual significance,
Which it does.
is like how would you pronoun yourself?
In marriage.
Yeah, in marriage, if that's even a thing, or pronoun yourself in general, how will that affect you? You understand? Like I say
Well,
my pronouns are Lord and King.
it's true, guys. It is true.
You know what I mean? It's like for me, it just seems like all folly and you get caught up in oh, he, her, it, them, they. It's like
I left school long, so I really and truly don't
yeah,
check for the
who the
pronoun,
pronoun,
the,
but
the
then
pronoun thing.
but
Okay?
then
I just hear it and it just goes through one ear and
but
comes
then
straight to
wasn't
the other.
allegiance
I don't
identified as
care.
a pronoun too?
Legion was many.
All right, we are many. But people say oh they.
But he said that, well, the return conversation, it was a dialogue that Jesus had with the demon, and then the demon was correcting and saying legion for we are many. So I don't even think in that scripture that he actually identified his name, the one that was speaking back to Christ. I don't even think that he had a name. But I mean, in terms of the scripture, okay, he had a name. But in the scripture sayings, we then tend to think that legion is the name. But
Mhm.
legion was like, oh, you say a sanctuary is 100.
Oh.
He was saying legion. Like, there are a legion of us in here.
Mm.
So you can call this whole mob legion, right? But I don't think in that scripture, because I don't know, I was not physically there and it was not spiritually revealed to me. So maybe some other prophet may have that information that God would have revealed. But yeah.
Yeah.
So the name self was not even given in that scripture. Okay. So you tend to figure out or try to figure out your own position with your own name. Some people just accept it and say, this is my name, and they're proud and they love it. And other people struggle with their names. You have certain cultures right here on Barbados that when you transition, as Kevin would have mentioned in terms of religion, there is a Rastafari religion. And within the Rastafari belief and culture, they tend to have names or associate names with themselves that have like I in front of it. So like I Tafari, I carry, whatever, they put that and they have their own system of naming because of significance to them within that culture, what they identify with, and respectfully so, I agree with renaming yourself according to your purpose. So if a person, becomes enlightened, becomes aware of self, and they decide to rid themselves of these strongholds, they decide that they want to break free and become free from whatever it is they thought was keeping them bound or in bondage, is that not something to celebrate? I think it is. I think if a person can break free from something that was keeping them down and they can now be free to be themselves and say, you know what, this is my purpose, and they're clearly articulating that, and you can see them actively being productive and working and bearing fruit and all this kind of stuff, why are you not going to become the demon in their life, beating them down to take back the English name?
Bringing them
Or
back to truth.
or that's what you call them, but I can stick a plug in here and say hashtag truth is a person. Okay? Truth is not what you speak. Truth is an actual person. Okay? It isn't a person. It's like how I am a person. Imagine me saying, I am truth. Okay, truth is a person. And because truth is a person, you have to meet said person in order to meet truth.
You know, since I'm still in the book of wisdom,
Okay,
not truth is a person, but wisdom is a person.
they
Our
call
wisdom is a woman.
they call wisdom she. They,
Right.
they,
Right.
they say that if you love her,
Mhm.
you're gonna be cool.
Okay.
Like they give them, these are
So
pronouns, I guess.
So it's like a marriage, right? The wisdom of truth. Sorry, the marriage of truth and wisdom.
Yeah, but when we're looking,
Yeah, too deep for the first leg, right?
probably, but when we're looking at because I'm going by my notes, yeah. But when we look at the significance of your names and then you link it to your cultural background, or I guess new culture, if you're transitioning from one system into another system. In my case, I made a transition from carnal into spiritual. I went from being a very worldly character into being a very spiritual character. And that transition alone, like, it also caused a lot of people to fall off or fall out of my life. And not that I don't love them, not that I don't talk to them still or see them or anything like that. Majority of people I really don't see now, to be quite honest. But it's no fault of their own. It's just a transition that occurred for me where I went from being Dionne to Diosa in a real tangible way. I went from being, under bondage spiritually, physically, everything, where like every day was like a stress and a struggle. In here, to where I had freedom, and so much freedom to just reinvent and recreate and create, not even recreate, create what I was seeing up here already. My vision for myself is quite big, it's quite large. And it's like, I can't do that with a Dionne. I'm sorry. I can't do that with that kind of oppression. I just can't. But I do it nevertheless because I have a new identity, right? I have a new connection. Okay. But I have a when it changed, just to recap, in case you missed it in the first section of this live, because I don't even know. It's almost half an hour now. So 27 minutes. See, we on, but oh, I like this. It has a time. I didn't even look at that. Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
No, I was looking down here.
First live, guys.
I was looking down here most of the time.
I mean, keep it tight now.
So
well, after no.
So when it changed when I went to Cuba. Okay, guys, for those who wanted to figure out like what's going on with this girl, she went there. Dionne come back talking about she's Diosa. Why it changed? It changed because I needed to be free. And I needed to be completely free. Free from even my family. Okay? Because there is a mindset within the culture of my family that is small. That mindset I don't have. I don't have it. I don't identify with it. And I am going in a particular direction that they can't go. So I rid myself of that. Funny enough, my grandmother's the only person left within that generation. And she understands my name change. So when people say Diosa to her, she's called me and she's like, Diosa! So why you just call you for Diosa? She's accepted it and she lives with it. She did not demonize me. She did not ban me. She did not get angry with me. I explained it to her and she's pretty free flowing with it. Love my granny to bits because of it. So she gets it. She don't get other things, but she gets it. And she doesn't go around beating people or beating me over the head and saying, why you don't stop calling yourself so. I've heard it. I've heard it. I've heard people say out loud, not just in the head, but out loud. Tell people it's like they're not talking to the person. I don't know if you guys who are Barbadian remember a famous news anchor years ago. I think her name was Nikki Boyne or something like that. Her name before was Terry Boyne. Like she went from I think Terry to Nikki, and it was a public change. It was like 1 minute the teleprompter thing that would bring up your name. If you're on CBC or whatever, read Terry, and then the next minute you just saw Nikki. So it was like we in an alternate reality or some. It threw a lot of agents and it caused a stir, but she did it, and she stood behind her change, and I think she did it legally so too, which is why they had to legally put it there as, Nikki and not the Terry and whatever. And I respected that. I was a little girl at the time, and I respected that lady. I was like, girl, I want to do that. Lo and behold, I didn't even know I was going to be able to do it too. But that was kind of like a taste for me that somebody public could do this, and they did it. And that was not even the only famous person that got their name changed. In the Bible too, God changed how many people's names? Enough. You come but calling yourself one thing. It's like, my name is Mara. Call me Mara. Her name was Naomi, right? But because she went through so much bitterness, she said, don't call me Naomi. Call me Mara. She changed her name because of her. She thought everything was just going so bad. She lost her husband. She lost her sons. I mean, she lost all the men that were supposed to take care of her in her old age. She's now left as a widow and no children to even like take care of her and, transition properly. So it's like, it was a bitterness for her. Like, why me? And then you got Ruth, who actually clung to her, But there's a woman that changed her name because of her. One of them be in the Bible beating she over the head in the spirit and telling she why you change your name. Why you change your name? You could understand, and you would even preach sermons all around that name change. You also another set of famous people in the Bible that got their name changed. Abraham became Abraham. Sarai became Sarah. Even though it was like a little up at the end, the significance of that was that he was now linking them to himself as the, I would say, matriarch or patriarch of his people that he was going to birth into this world of chaos. Okay? So he took them from being worldly, being in the world, and he brought them to himself and he renamed them. Okay? He renamed them and he gave them new names for a reason. It's a purpose. Paul, who became Paul, but his name wasn't Paul, his name was Saul. Remember Simon, who became Peter. You know that famous person too? Jesus himself said, listen, I ain't calling you that name no more. I'm calling you Peter. My name Peter. But all for a purpose. And this is going to kind of bring me to the end because that's the end of my notes. I just wanted to end with some famous people who actually got their name changed too. Yeah.
So if you want to change your name, be led by
God
to change your name. Similar to how Diosa would have changed hers.
Mm-hmm.
See the reprogramming happening?
Yeah, happening. Look, my father-in-law just called me Dio.
It's true, right? The best of both worlds.
he don't even bother with one or the other. It's like Dio. He even spell it. He might go spell it for it too when he texts me. What's up, Dio? You see, people can call you whatever they feel like calling you, is what you answer by. Okay? And if you're answering according to your purpose, just make sure it is one that you are willing to die for. You're gonna die on a mountain, but you get to pick that mountain. Okay? And I'm gonna die on the mountain called Diosa, because I'm actually creating a mountain called Diosa. And yeah, I'm gonna die on that mountain. Okay? Not the other one. I'm not saying don't call me that either, because people still do, because I know you're still, in that stronghold and everything. Love you all the same, but I just would prefer to be called Diosa only because of the purpose that it holds for me, the significance that it holds for me, the fact that I am a new creature. I am new. I am not that old person that I used to be. She is dead. I cannot say enough. Okay? That old, cheating, lying, stinking, self centered Dionne is dead. Okay? This new creature that you see in front of you, it is like a baby. Okay? Diosa is like still a baby. And right now, I look at myself as being a child, like learning new things, trying to change mindsets that were put there from, the other person, Dionne, as she lived her life. Yes, it's a history. Yes, it's experiences that I went through, but it is not truth. Even though I went through it, I know truth is a person, and I'm going to be meeting that person every single day to be corrected, to be told what to do, to know how to live this life and to do it effectively so that we can bear fruit, so y'all could eat and eat good fruit. Because if anything is going to come out of this mouth, this vessel right here, it is going to be guided by that person of truth. Okay? It is going to be said from anybody going forward. See, she know truth. Okay? She know life and she know the way. Okay? So that is all behind the story. I hope it clears up some stuff for you. I hope it was like shocking enough for you to share, like to other people who may have been wondering, like, what was the deal with that? Like, I know she, but, and then some of you who actually don't like me because I did it too. I still love y'all. And there's no need, there's no reason to stay far away from me, because I don't hold grudge. Okay, the love that I have inside of me is so big. I'm not afraid to confront you either. That's how big the love is. Okay, like I could tell you exactly what happened, like I did here publicly. This is exactly the road to this point right here, to why I am the way that I am. And it's all thanks to my father. Okay, I love him to bits. I give him all the glory. I give him all the praise. I give him all the thanks for being here. Because when I was supposed to die as Dionne, he kept me so I could see Diosa. So I love you all. I love this man. I'm blessed because of him. We love our kids. They're all asleep. So until the next live, thank you for watching. Subscribe, 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 subscribe. End it.